comedians don't have, and I've met most comedians who are much more, like I've met Dave Chappelle and he treated me like I'm one of the friends, you know what I mean?
Let's
like,
talk about Dave Chappelle.
Oh, yeah,
oh my gosh, I love him. Tell me about him.
Crazy. I was going to watch Jeff Ross on a show, and then there he was. I wasn't not even on the bill, and I said, "Oh my God," to Jeff Ross. He says, and then he's like, "Oh no, come meet him." Listen, she left me with him. He started talking. I'm like, "Oh my God!" Like it humbles you, and it's like, okay, you know what? Actually, I could be the biggest thing if someone this big is that much interested in who I am, what do I do, as much as Jeff Ross introduced us. But I've found that most comedians, we have that. And I understand where it comes from. We are never going to be able to perform comedy to people if you have a sense of hierarchy within yourself. You must meet people here. You must understand. You must be relatable. It's hard work when you actually doing the craft. The technicalities of it, why you say the joke, the choice of topic, the premise of the joke, all those things, what jokes comes first, which joke, all those things are just work like your normal people that will prepare work. But what it does though, it you go back to self a lot when it comes to comedy because you are vulnerable on stage. There's no backing singers there. There's no, once people clap and they say Celeste is on stage, you're coming in there, you must start talking. And also I find that it always sends one back to self. I know now there are so many comedians that are starting on a social media space and they become popular, which is great, but still it does not translate the same as being on stage. That's the crazy part. You can be the biggest star and have movies and stuff, but when you write a new material, you're still gonna go back to on set. I've been to shows in America when I met George Lopez. I met this other time there was Kevin Hart. It's like, oh my God, these people still come here and make shows? Really? Yes, they still do. And ask for 10 minutes and 5 minutes because they're working on this thing, you know. So that is inspiring to see people that they have nothing to prove anymore, but they still go back and do the work.
You've lived a life that's not without its own challenges and losses. How would you say that comedy has helped you shoulder those moments where you were not as up, as good?
When my brother passed on after the funeral, I found myself making people laugh. I literally, my mind came back when my mom came out of the house and be like, but all his friends were laughing, the family was laughing. And I was like, I can't even remember what I was saying. A bit of intoxication. But everyone else was like, you honored him so well. Because I was talking about him in those, it's not even a set. I was literally relaying stories and people were dying. And I think, it's a good thing. I'm glad and I feel privileged to have that as a skill and something that I fall back into because you are able to laugh at yourself, you know, because comedy is not, we're not changing any story. We're taking the very same story. We're just going to point you to a funny part of this whole situation.